documents here. And what it says here in the green, that these are the planned future projects to be put out for bids for a later date. African American minority owned and operated companies in green. Okay, hold it. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but here I got check marks about all the prominent companies that they've been giving the monies to. Out of this entire list is H&H Paving, which is the black owned and operated business. That's the only one on this page. Out of the millions of dollars, again, H&H Paving is the only one on this page. Here we have Brown Landscaping and Paving Company. Okay, there's only two that's been awarded. And here again, we got check marks about it, showing where these same companies got all the money all the time. They utilize them all the time. And we only have H&H Paving again. And this page here just shows how much money they've been spending. So we don't have any representation when it comes to minority businesses. Even though...
Okay, for example, you mentioned about these same companies that get these contract jobs. For example, the Scruggs Company was $27,229,099. Scruggs again, $129,687,083. Scruggs again, $43,743,181. Scruggs again, there it is, $18,669.68. Scruggs again, $38,656. Radley Plumbing, $280,762. Standards Contractor, $58 million. Scruggs again, $180 million. Scruggs again, $128 million. Scruggs again, $120 million.
This is what we're talking about.
Standard Contractor, $187 million. H&H, I assume this is a black contractor.
That's a black contractor.
He got 24,000.
This is what we're talking about.
Dominion Construction, 5,000. This grows again, 43 million.
This is what we're talking about.
6 million, then 325,000. Then scrolls again, 43 million. Scrolls again, 81 million. Scrolls again, 87 million. A Southland contractor, 19 million. Then scrolls again, good. Is that one?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Charles Judge. A lot of you may know me from the community. I want to point out, I'm going to call some names out.
Okay.
Our representative in the state Georgia Assembly, his name's John Corbett. Now this joker goes to church, and they get out of church. Now my parents asked me to go to church with them one time. I get out of church, there's a Langdale, that John Corbett fella, the preacher, my stepdad, all out there talking about N-words. I won't say it out of respect, but y'all know what they was saying. So, you know what my family life's been like. I've been the black sheep, no pun intended. But I want to say, for one thing, there are a lot of white folks that don't like this stuff. But they won't stand up and speak up because they in with folks that can pull the rug out from under them like they did me. As George told you, I had a business here. And I was taken to jail and beaten for standing up for the kind of things we stand up now. And they sit in the jail cell and told me that's why I was in there. Didn't have no charges on me or anything like that. And then 7 years later, as I owned a business and was making progress and went to court, a lawyering for myself and got custody of my son back in a time when they didn't give me in custody. And this so pissed them off that they set out to destroy me. Well, my family's still here and we still kicking, and we're not gonna stand by and not say nothing.
Valdosta Daily Times article covering this press conference. Group demands Southside Fund says ERA money excludes area. By Malia Thomas, malia.thomas@gaflnews.com. By Malia Thomas, malia.thomas@gaflnews.com. May 19, 2022. Malia Thomas. Valdosta Daily Times. The Reverend Johnny Robinson and DJ Henderson map out the underserved areas of the South Side. Valdosta. A Valdosta group is asking the city why more COVID-19 relief money hasn't been allocated to the south side of town. The People's Tribunal held a press conference earlier this week at its Victory Church headquarters to demand more American Recovery Act funding be earmarked for Valdosta's south side. Johnny Robinson, a People's Tribunal representative, said the group plans to file litigation against the city in wake of the expiration of a 60-day notice to distribute funding necessary for revitalization, referring to the $16.2 million awarded to the city through the American Recovery Act. Robinson was joined by Sam Robinson, DJ Henderson, Charles Chuck Judge, Robert Bob Elders and the Reverend Floyd Rose. People's Tribunal is a nonprofit organization dedicated to addressing ongoing community concerns with local government. He said no funding has been allocated to the South Side and a lawsuit is simply the next step in achieving our objective. The revitalization of the South Side and low-income community is very important and it needs to have Black ownership as well. Instead, it's being somehow excluded. The only difference is who will own what in the end, and we just want to make sure that the people of the traditional Black community have and maintain ownership of their own neighborhood and community, Robinson said. We had proposed a partnership with the city. We put together a community plan. We even suggested a committee with South Side residents. We tried it all. So now we're asking the city to request $250 million for the revitalization of the South Side and aid people of low income. Elders claims the city has a pattern of underfunding underprivileged areas, such as the South Side Recreation Center. The federal government has provided the city with funding to help the community, and we've seen time and again that they've misused and misallocated those funds designated for certain areas of town, and then when audits come around, it was clear money hadn't been spent there. So that's the basis of it, Elders said. They bemoan the crime and rise of gangs and gang shootings, but that comes from people who don't have jobs or opportunities. They have nothing to lose. The people running the city don't seem to get that. This funding, it's about spending money and improving people's lives through training and creating a good labor pool. The ERA projects with the largest funding allocated for them include Savannah Avenue Train Project, $3,500,000. Griffin Avenue Housing Project, $3,300,000. Premium Pay to Employees, $3,214,584. City of Valdosta, Facilities, Technology, etc. $1,300,000. Purchase of properties on South Patterson and surrounding parcels, $1,300,000. The Savannah Avenue train project funding in particular has come under fire for being excessive, from both the Tribunal and City Council member Sandra Tooley. I'm not against the project and I think it would be good for Valdosta in general. However, there's a difference between something people can use and something people can actually benefit from. We're talking about something that can change and affect the lives of people in the community, Robinson said. We have aid from the federal government and it should be used for what it's intended for, direct economic relief and restructuring for its citizens. The funding can help build trade centers and programs that can reconstruct people's livelihoods and income disparity. It can provide more opportunities. Tooley brought up her contention with the project during the April 7th Valdosta City Council meeting, stating the $3.5 million allocated is exorbitant, needed to be further reviewed and was part of the original agreement. The project originally had a price tag of $2.5 million which then jumped to $3.5 million, Tooley said, adding she opposed the higher amount. I fussed and fussed, but nobody wants to support me on this. That's okay, she said. I'm going to still fuss. I believe in doing what's right. Valdosta City Manager Mark Barber said he admires the Tribunal's passion for revitalizing the South Side, but he claims the city has worked with the Tribunal to ensure proper funding would go to the community. We have met with them and we've had several discussions about funding for the South Side and taking care of their needs. The city has always made sure to fund and serve our underprivileged communities, he said. Tooley confirmed that City Council had received information from the Tribunal previously, but it has mostly worked with Barber. We're not directly involved. We did hear something from the Tribunal a while back, but we were under the impression they were going to move forward with everything. Our city manager said he has given the Tribunal all the information and everything that they asked for, she said.
What did you say?
I've been there.
Who's that? It's not me. I'm in the car. Oh.
I don't want to talk to you now, okay?
That was cold. That was cold, boy. That was cold.
Yeah, I felt it over here.
Bonjour.
Hey, here's the man. All right.
Yeah.
Doc?
All right, all right. How's everybody?
She did.
Yes. How you doing?
Good, my brother.
Oh, good. Good to see you. All right, all right, all right, all right. Everybody doing all right this morning?
All right.
Well, the news reporter, she made it here. And she did stop by and see the city manager or someone, had to talk with them. Well, are we ready? Are we on?
Yeah.
So,
All right.
action!
All right.
Come on in.
Everyone knows I'm John Robinson, a representative of the People Tribunal and associate pastor of the First Antioch Missionary Baptist Church. And I was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I'm a cancer survivor for 14 years now. And we are here today to address some issues pertaining to our city. I have something I like to pass out to everyone. It's called the economic structure. And it gives an overview, basically, of what we are proposing to the city. And let me take one of them. And it's a proposal.
Let me say a few words here.
Okay.
First of all, I would like it to be known that we was not remiss in omitting our news media. We invited most all the local news media, and we are live on Facebook. And I just wanted you all to know that this is one of the problems that we've been having in this community, and I think we ought to be on record for that, is that when we have powerful, newsworthy information, oftentimes nobody covers it. But we know that. But I want people to say, well, did you notify the news media? Did you?
Oh, yes. Yes. We contacted WCTV, Channel 10 out of Albany, and some other news agencies, but they haven't responded. They should have been here this morning, but they didn't. They haven't shown up. The only one that came out was Valdosta Daily Times, and we appreciate you and thank you for showing up and coming out. Yes, sir.
Reverend Rose, not Reverend Rose, Reverend Robert, the namesake, and to the rest of the ones here. I'm thinking along the line that omission is suppression. They omit to come in here and publish what's being said and done, and they're suppressing it. They don't want people to know.
I do agree. I do agree. But we are here today to emphasize to the city of Valdosta how important it is for us to have this partnership that we are recommending. This partnership is only to ask the city to ask the federal government for aid to aid the city. We are asking them to ask the federal government for $250 million for the revitalization of the South Side. The low-income community is very important, and it needs to have the black ownership as well instead of being somehow excluded. We do realize that there are some people going to be in opposition of our approach, but we have drawn the line in the sand. And we gave them 60 days to respond. And they haven't responded yet. Now, they've been talking a little, but not nothing that can be considered serious. We want to be known that we are sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being advised to work our way from the back to the front just to be sent to the back again. Amen. I want to emphasize that I'm a native of Valdosta. I was born out at Cherry Creek on Stafford Wright Road by a midwife. 1954. I was here until 1963. At the age of 9, we left here. I drank from the colored water coolers, went to the segregated bathrooms while I was here at the age of 9. Lived here and stayed gone for 30 years and come back in 1994. Didn't have to drink from the colored water coolers at this time. Valdosta can be a swell place to live if everyone is included. The unfortunate part is that everyone is not included. There's a certain exclusion here in this city. And what we are asking for the partnership is that we be able to share into the activities of monitoring the city's activities to know how they are spending the money. It was said in a public meeting that we had, and we have witnesses here in the building, where the mayor made a statement that over $200 million was spent on the north side and only $2 million was spent on the south side. We made repeated accusations to the city, and we had open record requests, and we didn't get any satisfaction. We asked how much money was spent on the north side versus the south side as a low-income community. They sent us everything pertaining to HUD. They sent us nothing pertaining to the real issues. So then we asked how much money was spent between the contractors, the people that's in business that do construction work, how much money was spent between the contractors that they've been awarding projects to. They did send us out something, but they sent us out this long list, and on this list, it had the same people been awarded the monies all the time, repeatedly. Had only one minority contractor on there that had been awarded a job out of all the contracts that was there. We're in a time when we're demanding change. And we are going to file this litigation against the city on behalf of the people in the city. These are the representatives that's here. Could you state your name?
Charles Robert Judge. Everybody knows me as Chuck.
All right.
Virtually Dumas.
T.J. Henderson.
And Bob Elder.
And Pastor Floyd Rose. These are going to be the representative plaintiffs. That's going to represent the people of the city. They have all the legitimate complaints for exclusion. We have been excluded. We're going to file Title VI. And it guarantees that no one to be left behind because of race, national origin, or whatever. But we are going to pursue this. We're not going to let up off of it. We are asking the government, asking the city to ask the government to help us to revitalize the city. We understand that the President Biden have put together an infrastructure plan to help the deprived communities. And we understand that so much money have already been allocated to the city. They haven't gotten it yet, but monies have been allocated to the city, but we know it's not going to be enough. So therefore, we are asking for $250 million to be put in place that we can utilize and use this program here to help emphasize ideals that can move forward. They have made promises after promises. We've been working on this for over a decade, and we haven't gotten any place. Now, what they did, I'm gonna go back in time just a little. No one don't want to discuss the real issues that we have. No one don't want to talk about the blatant racism that exists in Lowndes County or this city. It's not about the race issues in these points in times. Now, it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but I'm not. What I'm saying is, I told you that I was born on Stafford Wright Road in 1954 without any civil rights. I told you that I drank from the colored water coolers and used the segregated bathrooms. I said that I came back in 1994 and I didn't have to drink from the colored water coolers nor use the segregated bathrooms. But a lot haven't changed. Some things changed, but a lot of things remain the same. And a little history on Valdosta. It's two Valdostas here. One for the rich and wealthy and for those who are thriving, and the other is for the people that's underprivileged in the low income community, which is the traditional black community. That don't make it about black and white, that make it about plain truth and factual truth. If we don't discuss this openly and be able to talk about it realistically, we're going to keep covering it up, keep living behind the veil, and things going to remain the same. Things cannot remain the same. See, the economic structure here, we've been omitted. Our community don't have anything in it. They don't have any monies. But even though they spent, as the mayor said, $200 million on the north side and $2 million on the south side, look at the contrast in that. We can't get in the place living under those conditions, where our children is robbing and killing one another, where they don't have nothing to look forward to. What we are asking is that through this program we are asking that we get admission through the program to have training facilities for educational purposes, such as trade centers where people can go in and learn a trade, such as carpentry, brick masons, welders, pipe fitters, fabricators, and designers, and etc. What we don't have is an equal opportunity along those lines because we don't have anything here now. And it's unrealistic to stand here and say everything is okay, and it's not. We want the city to know that we are filing this litigation and that we are not going to take down. When we look at where we came from, we'll go back as far as 1918. Right there on Patterson Street, Cindy Johnson was dragged up and down the street, backwards and forward in the presence of the people here. Mary Turner, she was 8 months pregnant, and she was hanged up by a heel string, and her belly was cut open, and her fetus fell out on the ground, and someone took the heel of their boot and crushed the baby's head. Then they riddled her body with bullets, and then took a cigar butt and put it in the top of an empty whiskey bottle for a grave marker. That's part of the dark history of this place. And down through time, it echoed the sentiment of fear and a fear factor. Everybody be hush-hush about it. Nobody don't want to discuss it. But it's not God's will that we live under these type conditions. It's not His will that we live under suppression. He give us the wisdom and the knowledge with the understanding that we can move forward. And this is the way we are going to go about it. We want to emphasize to the city that we want change, and we are demanding change. We are not just asking for it, we are demanding it. And we are going to get some change. Amen. And we're going to go into the United States federal courts, and we're going to make a difference. Some going to say the same problem exists everywhere. That's probably true. But I'm talking about Valdosta. That's right. I'm not talking about everywhere else. You know, we have to start here at home. And this way we're going to address it from. George Rhines with the Ghetto Free Press, we want to thank him for coming out and that off the Daily Times. Amen. We go back a decade when we started out with John Frederick and the lies they told. We started out with John Gale and instead it promoted oppression. And we come to the conclusion that this new mayor that we have, the other left such a bitter taste in our mouth, we don't know how to trust him. We don't know whether or not if he's going to do the right thing or not. They're saying that they are being cooperative with us, but we haven't had the meeting with them. We've been trying to schedule meetings with them and their attorneys, between our attorneys, but to no avail. I'm here to say today that we are going to get someplace, that we don't have to live like this, and we are not going to live this way. We're not going to live under oppression all the time. It's time for change. Sam Cooke made a song that says a long time coming, but a change is going to come. And we are looking and expecting that change to come. And we hope that everyone can get a good understanding that we are not going to stand for this any longer. And we want the world to know that Valdosta is two Valdostas. One for the rich and the wealthy, a city where the people of power, from the power structure of this city and from the private sector, manipulates the governmental officials that runs and govern this city. I know that's a real remark to make, but it's a fact. They run it from behind the scene. This city and this county have been set up with the all-white power structure for years and years and years, for 160 years.
Whoop, there it is.
Now, in a city that's 51% black, 40% live below poverty, 43% earn less than $10,000 a year. There's something pathetically wrong with that picture. The city council members feed the hungry on Wednesdays, have a long, massive line of people coming by to get food. That's the indication that something is economically wrong in this place. Yes, sir. because we don't go out in the land because we don't have to. But those people that's in that land, in this land because they're economically oppressed and don't have by no means of being able to survive because we have economic failure here. And no one don't want to address it. It's too large for us to fix in our lifetime.
Yes, sir.
And too complex for a Band-Aid.
All right.
All right.
So now what we need to do is come together, hold together, and press on and move forward. We went for 4 months and visited every bank here in this city
Amen.
to find out why our contractors can't get any monies.
Tell it.
And they set up a forum, and we met at the Chamber of Commerce after these 4 months. And we went out, and they wanted to know what did we want. We told them we wanted justice and equality by the law. We went through a whole lot of conversation that involves subjects like a person have a bad credit score, they can't get a loan. We even talked about mom and pop businesses starting from home and making it downtown and then have economic failure because they have to pay a doctor bill or electrical bill to sustain themselves, and then their credit scores go down. And the banking system is based upon credit scores. And they said that we are not going to break the rule, but maybe we can bend it a little. So we went out and they said you go out and get federal contracts. We will honor the contracts and we'll see if we can assist them in their needs. So these businesses went out and got federal contracts up in Atlanta for refurbishing office buildings, skyscrapers. They come back with their proposal and the bank turned them down. Meantime, they done went out and hired employees. They done went out and ordered supplies. Now they can't get the funding that they need, so they had to go out and borrow money from other places to meet their obligations and their duties. This is what we face here in this city. A man come along with a solar system program, a very unique portfolio, presented it to the banks, they turned him down. Someone else come in that was a Caucasian that had not a so unique portfolio, and they promoted his business. These are the type of things that we face in reality. These are the things that we are moving to change. And we are still working with the banks.
Yes, sir.
Still trying, because we know perseverance is going to win in the end. I'm going to conclude this by saying that the city have been put on notice that we are going to move forward and that we are not going to take down. We're not backing up not one step. I want them to understand that we are moving in the right direction. There's others here that know there's a problem here. Georgia Power and Light, what that other company name is?
United Fund.
Who?
United Fund.
United Funds. They are coming together trying to put together funding to help support the community. Miss Angela Ward did a documentary showing that there's problems in the neighborhood, and it's very much appreciative. But that's not going to be enough. So therefore, we are urging the city to ask the federal government for aid to help the city and to formulate the partnership with the People Tribunal so that we can come up with a committee and the committee that can help monitor the activities of the city. In the process, we're going to be also asking for a forensic audit by the federal government, that every stone can be unturned. And a deep look can be looked into these issues of federal funding. Because we got a feeling that they're going to be charged with misappropriation of federal funds by not using the monies in the places where it was allocated to be used. It's impossible for them to come up and display something that they don't have, and they do not have the truth. And that's why they be lying to us, leading us to believe that they're going to do certain things, and they do not. I'm going to conclude this by saying to the Get to Free Press and Valdosta Daily Times, I thank you for coming out and covering this. We need this. And we want this to be echoed and our sentiments to be heard. Thanks. And it's open now for any questions you may have. Do you have any questions?
Brother Robinson,
Yes, sir.
I know you have given an outstanding presentation, but I would like for you to say it again for the record. In city government and county government, state government and federal government, they have laws set up where you make a formal written request, or you appear before different councils and different commissions and other bodies, including the Chamber of Commerce. Have you done these things on this issue before you came here today?
Oh, yes. We met on several occasions. And promises was made. We sat down with the Chamber of Commerce, and they ordered the banks to come forward to meet with us. And it worked out very well. Now, we had put in public requests of public records. They answered some of the questions, and some of them they could not answer. And they sent us out some documents that I have here someplace. Excuse me. They sent us out these documents here. And what it says here in the green, that these are the planned future projects to be put out for bids for a later date. African American minority owned and operated companies in green. Okay, hold it. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but here I got check marks about all the prominent companies that they've been giving the monies to. Out of this entire list is H&H Paving, which is the black owned and operated business. That's the only one on this page. Out of the millions of dollars, again, H&H Paving is the only one on this page. Here we have Brown Landscaping and Paving Company. Okay? There's only two that's been awarded. And here again, we got check marks about it, showing where these same companies got all the money all the time. They utilize them all the time. And we only have H&H Paving again. And this page here just shows how much money they've been spending. So we don't have any representation when it comes to minority businesses. Even though...
Okay, for example, you mentioned about these same companies that get these contract jobs. For example, the Scruggs Company was $27,229,099. Scruggs again, $129,687,083. Scruggs again, $43,743,181. Scruggs again, there it is. $18,669.68. Scruggs again, $38,656. Radley Plumbing, $280,762. Standards Contractor, $58 million. Scruggs again, $180 million. Scruggs again, $128 million. Scruggs again, $120 million.
This is what we're talking about.
Standard Contractor, $187 million. H&H, I assume this is a black contractor.
That's a black contractor.
He got $24,000.
This is what we're talking about.
Dominion, Dominion Construction, 5,000. This grows again, 43 million.
This is what we talking about.
6 million, then 335,000. Then scrolls again, 43 million. Scrolls again, 81 million. Scrolls again, 87 million. A Southland contract at 19 million. Then scrolls again, good. Is that 1,254,720. Scrolls again, 27,000. Scrolls again, 675,000. Scrolls again, 99,000. Scrolls again, 55,000. Scrolls again, 58,000. And the list goes on and on. And this is why we are fighting this, fighting for equality in this city. Nothing is new, nothing has changed. Dr. King says when a person is satisfied, they won't do anything. But we reached a point now wherein we are no longer satisfied. It's time for change. Everybody hates a change. Nobody wants to change, but it's time for change. And I like to, the person that represents the Valdosta time, where are they? We want to thank you for coming. And those that didn't come, that's a personification that they are agreeing with what's going on in Valdosta. And I'm saying this in love to you. When you edit this meeting, these notes, these sayings, not you, some representatives of Valdosta Data Time, they do not print the truth. They'll take the truth out, and they will insert certain words that we didn't say or don't say. So we're glad to have you. We're proud to have you. My notes here. Hello. Now, James Cleveland wrote a song about everything must change. Nothing will remain the same. The young become the old. Everything must change. I've been in this town of Valdosta all my life. And when James Beck was the mayor, they made us a promise that they're going to restructure, revitalize, rebirth the South Side. They have not done that. We had Mitchell's barbecue stand. We had black businesses, prime businesses. We had the soda shop. We had Mitchell's barbecue stand, places that we can go to eat. We had our own laundries. Now you go downtown, now it's all white.
Not anymore.
It's all white. No blacks. And every now and then they'll throw out a little crumbs to a black business. But that's not enough. Another example, we don't even have a swimming pool on the south side. Now back in the 60s and 70s, they had the boys club on Toon Street. So but as time passed, they built the other people a nice place and they put us in that same little pool. It's too small. We need somebody on city council to stand up for us and fight for us. Now, they claim that they represent us. They are not representing us. We don't see a change. We are not asking for a change. We are demanding a change. Dr. King said when a man is satisfied, he won't do anything. But we are not satisfied. We are going to do something. Listen, I might not get that with you all. But we as a people, we're going to see some changes in Valdosta. Now, to those of you that are in here, that's a mighty weak clap. We're going to see some changes in Valdosta. And listen, we are not fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for those that won't fight. We are standing up for those that won't stand up.
That's right.
We are fighting for our grandkids and kids that don't have a nice pool to go into. We need a pool and a nice building and a skating ring on the south side. Now, we met with the city officials. We met with them. We met with the city officials. We met with the bankers. No changes. I know they can do better. I know that. They can help us. They help who they want.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. So we don't have anything to lose. We don't have anything to fear, but fear itself.
Amen.
We can win this battle.
A direct question to my brother. Y'all have to excuse me, but I've been doing this kind of work since '75, and the preacher is right, and I just want to ask him, what strong council member have stood up in such a way publicly to bear witness that something is seriously wrong and that something seriously needs to be done?
I'm glad you asked that question. That's a good question. To pick out one, it'll be unfair. To pick out two, it'll be unfair. To pick out three, it'll be unfair. So let's pick all four. Now, the answer to that question is kind of redundant in this way. Years after years, we have new city councils members.
Correct.
Okay. Now, they have not made any changes on the south side.
Correct.
They built, theoretically speaking, they built a $10 million Martin Luther King memorial in a ghetto.
Correct.
In the middle of the ghetto.
Look out, brother.
Correct.
Those same city council persons, they agreed to do that.
Correct.
They changed Branch Street to Martin Luther King in a ghetto.
Correct.
Martin Luther King was global.
Correct.
Look out, man.
You couldn't put him in a box.
What? Preach!
All of these cities like Savannah,
Brickman.
even Brooks County, Main Road.
Thoroughfare.
So you can't pinpoint one city council person. You have to pick them all. Now, there are some city council persons are stronger than others. But we need to get our city councilmen, city persons on the board with us. You can help us. That's why we elect you. To see after your constituents. Compare what's going on on the south side versus what's going on the north side. It's time for a change. It's just that simple. We are not asking for anything out of the ordinary. We are behind. And we face city council members meeting after meeting, and they hear us out with a big smile and do absolutely nothing.
Nothing!
It's time for a change. It's time for a change for the city council. It's time for a change for the mayor. It's time for a change for all the constituents in each district. And finally, I was at a meeting with the city manager and a councilwoman, and they asked this question, and I quote, "Where's the south side?" They don't know what the south side is?
Let me say something. So you get done.
Go ahead.
You know, he got a very good point. I brought these pictures in here, and this is the downtown area, and this portion here is the bridge. This is the south side he's referring to, and these are the type of houses shotgun houses that's in these neighborhoods and communities. And on this here is a geographical area, and it reads designated revitalization area neighborhoods. All these colored areas in here that's of color, and they're marked with color coded. These are the areas that was designated for revitalization. Now one we have outlined, and it's called Kill Me Quick.
Yeah.
Okay? Now up here the topic of this neighborhood is called Kill Me Quick Community. So I outlined it. Now, who in their right mind would invest in a community called Kill Me Quick? Kill Me Quick. Okay? So this is the type of mentality that's here. This is what he's referring to. Now, I like to say something about the city council as well. You have one person on that board that always seems to get gaveled down because they'll make mention of things in relationship to our topic. Okay? And they gavel her down openly. Okay? That's the only person on there. Now, what we got to keep in mind is when these people are elected to office, they have a mind like we have. They're going to do so much for the city and for the people of the city. But then when they get used to a certain lifestyle and living a certain life on a certain level, if that lifestyle be threatened, but then they take down from their position of promoting the things that you're asking for. Because they done got used to living on a certain lifestyle by the benefits that they get from the outside sources that is not revealed publicly. So these people that I was telling you about manipulate the power from behind the scene. It's very important that we recognize that it's not controlled just by the city council. It's controlled by the one that is controlled by the puppet master that's controlling the strings, that's working all these boards. And it results in everything that you were saying. Now, I'm going to step back on this, and you can close us out with whatever remarks you got there and the questions they may have.
Okay, now, let me give you a good example, just where we are in the city of Valdosta. And this had never been done. They named numerous street names. They changed them. Never paid any money. Never paid any money to have a street change.
Look out now.
Okay, now.
Come on now.
We go to a young bold lady goes to the city council, asks for Forest Street to be named Obama Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the city had a closed meeting and changed the rules. Now, the city council member was there. I think it's what, 4 and 2? Come on, talk to me. 4 and 2? 4 blacks and how many whites?
That's about right.
Okay, so we have to leave.
That's right.
So we're looking at help from our representatives, and we don't get it.
Correct.
Okay, now, so what they did, they joined with the minority. Okay, they said, okay, now, what you do, you go out and get so many petitions. We did that. And then they changed it again.
Yeah.
Okay, we did that. Then they said, okay, you did good. But now, it's gonna cost you to get it changed.
Correct.
So we had to pay $3,000 more to get it changed. Never been done. Never heard of it.
Something wrong.
So how it was changed, the people from the college got involved in it.
Correct.
And they started stirring this thing. And when you start stirring some stink, something will change. Because nobody want to smell that stink.
That's what you gonna
I
do.
know I'm right.
That's right.
Okay, one more thing. Any questions? Come on, ask me some questions. Let me tell you something. We've been fighting this for a long time. So spread the word. There's nothing new. It's not a black thing either. Stand up, Bob. Stand up, sister. Yeah.
Come on.
Stand up, brother. Stand up, yeah. Come on. That's a weak clap. Take it, Bob.
Yeah, so he let it happen.
Come on, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Charles Judge. A lot of you may know me from the community. I want to point out, I'm going to call some names out.
Okay.
Our representative in the state Georgia Assembly, his name's John Corbett. Now, this joker goes to church, and they get out of church. Now, my parents asked me to go to church with them one time. I get out of church, there's a Langdale, that John Corbett fella, the preacher, my stepdad, all out there talking about N-words. I won't say it out of respect, but y'all know what they was saying.
Understand?
So, you know what my family life's been like. I've been the black sheep, no pun intended. But I want to say, for one thing, there are a lot of white folks that don't like this stuff. But they won't stand up and speak up because they in with folks that can pull the rug out from under them like they did me.
Correct.
As George told you, I had a business here. And I was taken to jail and beaten for standing up for the kind of things we stand up now. And they sit in the jail cell and told me that's why I was in there. Didn't have no charges on me or anything like that. And then 7 years later, as I owned the business and was making progress and went to court, lawyering for myself and got custody of my son back in a time when they didn't give me in custody. Mm-hmm. And this so pissed them off that they set out to destroy me. Well, my family's still here, and we still kicking, and we're not going to stand by and not say nothing. I want to mention that this John Corbett fella has a brother that I work for, and I have the case information right here. I'd be glad to give it all. His name's Ron Corbett. He owns a boardwalk. He makes a lot of t-shirts for black folks when they have somebody dying or something like that. You know what I've heard out of their own mouth? Well, that's just good. We like that because that's another one dead. I hate to get up here and say things like this, but it's true. I've heard it with my own ears. I started with a band, and we play black gospel music with at Pastor Adrian Rivers' church when he started out on Forest Street. And I was working with them people because I was beat down and didn't have nowhere. I was in bad shape, having bad health problems, had a stroke and several other things going on. But while I was working there, because they were across the street and I could just get there, that's where I heard all this stuff and got to know this. And those people were responsible for bringing in the dope back in the 70s and 80s. And now that they legalize it, and John Corbett, they got it on their farm out there growing it. And now that they got it legal, they putting it out there. You know how Ashley Polk always knows where the big dope busts are? That's how he knows. And when I tried to get help from Ashley Polk about being hit by this guy for no other reason than just quitting because of this nonsense that we're talking about now, and I'm not calling it nonsense, I'm saying it in the respect that it's nonsense the way they treat people and the way they act. And you know what I was told? Why you hang out with them GDN words?
Correct.
You know, I'd be in a lot better shape if I didn't. When I had my business, my right-hand man was a black guy. Not because he was black, because he'd done a good job for me. And back then, there was no black people in the sign business. My goal is I make neon signs. I bend it. I would like to have a business where I could have 6 or 8 apprentices and teach them that business. People who come from a low income or background where, you know, that they would appreciate something good and give them something that they can go and make good money anywhere in the United States.
Yes, sir.
But I don't get any kind of help from anyone when I go to talking about that. I just get slapped aside. But there's a case number. I'd like to give it to anybody. It's criminal case number 18 CW 00462, where I had to go to court. George was with me and had to apply to get the man arrested. And Ashley Paul, when I got a criminal warrant signed to have him arrested, said, I'm not going to help you because of that MFer right there was with me, talking about George.
Man.
And I'm up here calling names knowing good and well I could face some backlash. I will probably face some backlash. But I've got to tell the truth. And our community,
Man.
we need some people, some white folks to stand up. And let's get this right, because my entire life, and I didn't even plan it this way. It's just when I went to school and I saw things wasn't right, and I've just made friends with black people, and it's like that's a large majority of my friendships. And I don't care what the white folks say. I know I could be up there living a lot better if I didn't do that, but I know everybody's human. Everybody, we all bleed. When we cut ourselves, we all bleed red. This color of our skin don't mean nothing. But we've got to learn to stand up for what's right. And I still have a lawyer he says he's trying to fight. His name's Jody Peterman. He may have sold me out for all I know. George goes with me to all our meetings because I can't trust them to not pull any stunts when I go by myself. And I keep hearing, I've been hearing I'm gonna go to trial in 2 months. I've been hearing this for 7 years. This guy attacked and assaulted me right after I got out of the hospital with a stroke. He knowing all this. And you know what his defense is? He's saying I said the N-word as a red herring for everybody to chase that. You know, when I was at the shop, I did use the N-word. You know what I used the context in? Me and some black friends of mine were talking about a Chris Rock video where he makes a lot of skits about I love black people, but I hate N-words. I'm sure some of you guys have seen that. He used that old thing that had came up as a reason to hit me 4 days later. He could have fired me or whatever, but he used that as a reason to assault me. And now something that me and my friends were making fun of him about.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get off that subject because I know I've done gone too far. But these people are the ones, the names I just gave you, are the ones who are in control of everything, and they have the positions of control and the money. And it's like, I call it a redneck mafia. And I'll stop right there.
Well, I'm very glad and pleased to hear the statement that you made. And it just goes to show what's behind the scene out there and what's really taking place. We still got a statue downtown that Confederate soldiers standing on Times Square, signifying the mentality of the Southern style of lifestyle. But what we want to do is be able to pull something together that we can work together to make something happen on a positive basis. It's okay for us to talk about where we came from, but we're not to get angry. We are to look to see can we find a solution out of all the chaos that have occurred over the years, and see can we find somewhere in the corridors of our heart a thing called love, L-O-V-E. Amen. That we can spread the love abroad and work hard and diligently as we move forward, as we take these final steps that we're going to take to move towards federal court, and want the city to know that the doors are open and we are willing to sit down and have an open discussion to avert this. But if we don't avert this, we're going to paint this ugly picture of the truth based upon the reality, based upon the thing this man is discussing and the names, and we're going to call and reveal the names of all those who are pulling the strings from behind the scene. Believe me that we have had an open view of that power. It's kind of like what he was saying, kind of like what my man, Mr. TJ was saying. I had a first-hand view of how it really goes here. Through a gentleman by the name of Mr. J.C. Coward. He's passed now. And he gave me a good glimpse on the infrastructure of how this thing really operates and how the local government is manipulated by the private sector. So that being said, I thank all of y'all for coming out and joining with us today, and give a special thanks to the Valdosta Daily Times. And if you would, have this printed up, if you could. And we really thank you, and we thank the Ghetto Free Press. Now, I will say this before we close. Anytime that you stand up and try to do something in a positive manner, something negative come out of it. George Boston Ryan run into this situation a few years ago.
9 years ago.
9 years ago. He was put under criminal trespass. For what reason? They can't give him a reason. But they say they got something on him. But they can't do anything. Well, the thing of it is, when you make an accusation, that's defamation of character, whether they know it or not. So, you know, beware of your environment and your surroundings. And as long as you put God first and have love in your heart, believe me, things will work out. And I want to say this last. Thank you for coming out. Valdosta, Valdosta, Valdosta. Man. We are on the way. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless Reverend Robinson, longtime civil rights leader, Reverend Floyd E. Rose.
Yeah, that's him.
And these panelists up here who gonna fight until the end.
Yeah.
Y'all have a nice day. And by the way, when you go on Facebook, listen, please, and you see these videos, a lot of people recording, more than me is live on Facebook. When you see this video, share it. Don't just look at it.
Man.
Share it. Have your subscribers to share it. We don't have CNN and MSNBC, WCTV, CBS, ABC, 60 Minutes, 40-hour Dateline in your line, but we can do what we do. Bye-bye, we're gone.
Hey, I know that can close. What's the timeline on the litigation being filed?
Well, the timeline is going to depend upon the city of Valdosta in the next few days.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
Just
you.
to get you free prayers, George Boston Rams, I'm going to leave y'all now. But thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye, we're gone. Power to the people and share it.
All right.
Young man, praise the menu. I heard that name. My friend, I mean that. Out of my heart. I'm not a joking man. Thank you, sir. You stay in there. Stay in there. Anything you need, you call me.
They were going to copy of this. So they have it out.
Those listings of contractors.
And can I get your name, please?
Let me get back to you. I'll say yeah, but I need to make Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you don't get it. You know, you stand against the force like that. You don't get it.
Thanks for coming.
It can't be done without all the support.
real clear. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Just trying to stay busy, keeping my writing skills going.
Yes, sir. I read some of the book. I'm almost finished with it, but you are quite a unique individual. And pronounce that name for me. And
It's Causation, the First Chronicles of Cain.
okay. And Mr. Causey, you married, family, or children, or grandchildren, or?
I have a son and a daughter and 8 grandchildren. My wife is deceased.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
Okay, well, Mr. Causey, let us get to this book. I want you to just talk about it, but first, I got a few questions, Mr. Causey, I would like to ask you. How did you come up with the name Causation on this book, number one? And number two, what does the picture on the book, because that's what got my attention, it's the name and it's the way that front of the book is laid out. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, the name Causation is the word means to make things happen, and my last name is Causey, so I decided to mix it together and just came up with the name Causation because the book is 14 short stories, and so instead of trying to name every story, I just came up with a surname to entitle the book.
Yeah.
The cover is it's really unique. It's because some of the details in the cover describe parts of the book. And for example, the tombstone describes choosing death, the vampire story that I wrote. And the child on the picture I chose that because it looks exactly like my son when my son was that age. So I thought that it would inspire people because it's the way he's looking is like he's very interested in something.
Yes, sir.
And so I preach on people using their imagination because they say the biggest nation in the world is our imagination, and I think mine is a gift from God because my imagination can go far beyond what I ever expected. Because when I write, I never plan ahead. I just sit with pen and paper and let my imagination flow, and that's how I write my stories.
When you say, how do you view our birth and where do we come from, or any words on that, those few words?
Well, I do believe that God created this world, and He put us all in it, and it's up to us on how that we live our own lives, and yesterday is gone and tomorrow's not promised, so we have to do whatever it takes today to make ourselves happy. And I believe we have the ability to choose our thoughts, and we don't have to necessarily control our thoughts, but we can choose our thoughts. So if we get in a situation to where someone is making us angry, we have to realize that they can't make us angry. We have to choose to be angry. So by changing our thoughts, then we can change our feelings. And the universe, I believe the universe is got us all connected through together because I believe everyone's brothers and sisters in this world, and we all live together. And if sometimes we make mistakes and make the wrong choices in life, but we can always correct those choices and not have to continue making the same mistakes over and over. And I start my day every morning with meditation,
Okay.
clearing my mind and then being thankful for the things that I do have. I think being grateful for what we do have, it brings more stuff to us to be grateful for.
Okay, thank you. Now, the release date on this book, it didn't come out yesterday, but the release date on it is September the 21st, 2021. And what do you want an ordinary citizen to take away from your book as they read it? The First Chronicles, and why did you use First Chronicles of James? So what, let the people know what they can expect, or what you want to relate to the people.
Okay, the First Chronicles is the first book in a series of books that I have already written that are now being published by IC Books.
Okay.
And so we chose to make a series. Like my second book will be the Second Chronicles, the third book will be the Third Chronicles.
I see. Okay. Okay.
And
well, I'm a little greedy, okay? And so I want you to, in maybe we got about, well, to be exact, got about 3 minutes left. But I would like for you to just hit when I speak, when you speak or write about UFO, quick, how do you view UFOs?
Well, I think UFOs are a myth. It's just a figment of our imagination. And, you know, it's entertaining to a lot of people like sci-fi, like reading sci-fi books. So UFOs are a main character in most all your sci-fi books. So I don't view UFOs as real. They're just a figment of my imagination.
Okay. Choosing Death. The title, Choosing
Death is a great story. It's actually two stories in one that tie together in the end. And that is the story about an old vampire that's really tired of living and a young vampire that was turned against her will and in love with a guy, and she actually turned him to, and he didn't like it, so he's pursuing someone else, and then I can't say anymore because I give more of the book away.
Absolutely, that's a lot right there. Mainly, as we close, in fact, we're so close to shutting it down that I'm just gonna let you close us out here.
All right. I'll just say this. I'm James F. Cosby, and I wrote the book Causation, and I was inspired by my mother to write, and just I want everyone to know that if this is a great book, I'm not just saying that because I wrote it, but I'm saying that because everyone that's read it has told me so.
Right.
And I just ask you to read the book, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, Mr. Causer, what words would you give to a young person who may choose to go down the road of writing? What advice could you give them at your level?
When you're writing, if you want to be a writer, never give up, because myself, I've been writing for 20 years, and I've had many doors closed in my face, but every time one closes, another one opens.
Okay.
And I think God blessed me with IC Books when he opened that door for me to get my books published. But just stay strong and keep writing and never give up.
That is great. I've heard a lot of talk about IC Books. A couple people's here where I'm located, I understand, use that company to get their books out. Many other channels that I have to try to let people know about you, because she don't call me much, but whenever she called me, I try to accommodate. This is what I want to ask. This is the last question. Your picture look very unique. You got a hat on, your glasses, your beard. Why do you look so distinguished, man? What your father look like that?
Yes, I guess I take after my father. Okay, thank you for saying that, though. I never thought of myself as unique.
Yeah, you're unique.
Thank you, sir.
And very distinguished. That was the first question I wrote down to ask you, was about the picture, but I almost forgot it. Look here, our time is up. I look forward to talking to you. You can call me anytime, because most time, in fact, if you want to see any of my other videos, just go to Boston G.B.R. on YouTube, and you can see a lot of the videos of what I do across America, okay?
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank
you, sir, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, and keep on pushing that pen, man.
Oh, I will.
All right.
I will.
All right, peace. On behalf of IC Books Publishing, I just interviewed Mr. Causey, and I thank God for him. This is the Get To Free Press, George Boston Rhymes in Valdosta, Georgia. We do this because we love you just this much. Bye-bye.